Okay, this is Sherry Peterson with N&S Tractor in Colusa, California. And I'm here with Nick and Freddie. And we are going to go over just the basic maintenance, schedule, and care for your Zenith propane and natural gas engine.
So first 250 hours are going to be just a basic oil change with oil filter change. Check your filters, check all your hoses, your wiring, make sure there's no damaged frayed wires. Just make sure everything looks good. Any obvious damage is, of course, not good. 750 hours, you're going to go through, do the same oil change that you did at 250, but you're also going to end up doing a valve lash adjustment, which involves pulling your spark plug wires and your valve cover. Before you start that job, you'll want to get a set of spark plug wires due to the fact that there could be damaged wires when you go to pull them apart.
And our parts department has
Right.
that available.
Right.
Freddie?
A las primeras 250 horas de operación se le cambia el aceite y los filtros al motor y se le da una inspección, se chequea que no haya cables ruñidos o mangueras rotas, se chequean los sensores, que todo esté bien jalando. A las 750 horas se le cambia el filtro y el aceite otra vez, se le cambian los filtros del aire, filtros del coolant si tiene, y se ajustan las válvulas del motor. Para hacer eso se tiene que quitar los cables de las bujías y la valve cover. Se recomienda que se compre un set de cables porque cuando los quite se van a romper.
Okay. Go over the spark plug.
So with the spark plug wires, when you go to pull them apart, there could be a couple of different things that happen. The rubber boot off the bottom could come off. They're glued on, but with heat and runtime, they tend to want to come off. They'll get froze up in the hole from rust and everything else. Another issue that could happen is when you go to pull them out, you could either pull this rubber boot all the way off because it's just pushed on, or the spark plug wire could actually come out of the tube itself. It'll break down here at the connection, and then you'll be having to try to get it out. What I usually do is a pair of bent pliers like this works pretty good. They could either be 90s, 45s, whatever. You can get them in the top right here. Even with if the rubber boot just comes off, you can still get that in there. Give it a good wiggle, it'll pop out. When the rubber boot gets stuck in there, it's a little more of a pain, but you can usually do it with either a pair of pliers or maybe you can get like a small pick to break it loose from the edges and it'll pull out.
Okay.
With reinstall, make sure you use lots of dielectric grease. You want to make sure that you put a good dab down inside the hole and then coat the hole outside of it. When you go to pull these again in your next 750 hour service or 1500, it'll make it a lot easier for getting these out of the hole. They won't be as stuck.
Okay. You want to touch on that, Freddie?
Este es el cable de la bujía. Cuando va a quitar los cables, en veces se rompe de aquí o esta pieza se queda en el motor. Nomás se puede quitar con unas pinzas así, picarle con un pico o pinzas. Estas trabajan bien. Se puede jalar de aquí o de aquí. Cuando pone el cable nuevo, se le
What
echa
brand is it?
de esta grasa
Okay.
eléctrica, se le echa, le pone ahí y luego alrededor para que a las 750 horas que siguen salga sin problemas.
Okay. We'll go around and talk about the valve lash.
So as far as the valve lash goes, on the 9 liters, it's going to be 012 for the intake, 019 for the exhaust.
And all of that's located in the service manual.
Yeah, you'll be able to find all that on your owner's manual, along with the spark plug gap and all that.
Okay.
You will have to remove your breather off the valve cover, and you'll have to remove the 4 flathead screws out of this and get it out of the way to be able to get the valve cover off. Um, when I go through, I'll find ones that are loose already, which means they're not pushing down on the valves themselves, and I'll go ahead and check them. So for this one, it's an exhaust. I'll slide that in there. You want a little tension, but you don't want it to be too loose or so tight that you can't get that in there. The nut's a 14 millimeter flathead screwdriver. You'll either loosen or tighten that based on what you need. And once you get done with that, just put a paint pen mark on and work your way through. To rotate the engine over, I usually use a starter button, or you can use the main panel and just start it and then stop it real quick just to rotate the engine around. And once all that's done, you can go ahead and reassemble.
Okay. Anything you want to add in Spanish, Freddie?
Para hacer el ajuste de válvula se va a tener que quitar la valve cover y los cables de las bujías. Se va a tener que quitar esta pipa, nomás esa tornilla de ahí, el breather. Y cuando le hace la valve lash, tienen que estar flojas y puede ser el valve lash. El valve lash va a estar en el operator's manual o service manual del motor, y nomás se le da vuelta al motor hasta que estén flojas. Cuando están flojas estas piezas, quiere decir que la válvula está cerrada.
Okay. Should we go over a no start troubleshooting real quick?
Sometimes for coil will go bad. To be able to figure that out, usually if a coil goes bad, you'll hold down auto, you'll hear your lock off open up.
That's the click.
That's the loud click that you hear.
Okay.
If you don't hear that, what usually happens is there's a 15 amp fuse on the 9 liters. It's going to be this one in the second spot right here on the right hand side. For 12 liters, it's usually this front one, but this fuse right here usually be blown. If this fuse is blown, then what you need to do is go ahead, replace that fuse, and you're going to want to go through and unplug all your coils.
Okay.
Once your coils are unplugged, you'll go back and you'll start up your ECM again, usually just by holding down auto. That way it'll turn everything on, but it doesn't start the engine.
Okay.
What you'll do is you'll go through and you'll plug each coil in one by one. When you get to the coil that's bad, it'll blow that 15 amp fuse again, which means that coil's bad. So you replace it with whatever coil you need. Some are 12 volt, some are 24 volt. You'll just need to go off of the markings that's actually on the coil itself.
Okay.
And then once that's done, you replace the fuse once again, plug everything back in. You should be able to start it up, no issue.
Okay. And then what are some other things you can check for a no start?
Batteries. You can check your batteries. Make sure all your sensors are plugged in.
Make sure you have propane.
Make sure there's propane
in the tank. Make sure that the LPG and NG toggle switch is in the correct position. The emergency stop has not been deployed.
There is one other thing too. There is some cases where the coolant level sensor goes bad.
Oh yes. Okay.
Which is usually up here. And to verify if you're having a no start issue and you don't have any blown fuses, what you do is you'll find this triangle connector that goes into your radiator. Just unplug it. And then try to start your engine. If it starts after that, then that means that sensor's bad and you need to get it replaced.
And on the 12 liters, you have to access it from up on top.
And even the
correct
sensor or the overflow?
Both.
Yeah. Well, even on the new 9 liters, they don't even have this overflow. It's up on top too.
Oh, okay. Okay. Great. And of course, you can always give us a call at our Colusa office, or if you're closer to the Yuba City office, you can call us there as well. And we're here to help. We can send out one of our certified technicians just give us a call. Thank you.